So, hello, fellow Earthlings. This is Earthling 6455463728, and Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump. Um, these guys are similar. Why are they similar? They're similar because they are self-promoters. They have, what do you call it? It's a reality distortion field. I'm basing a lot of what I'm saying here on my reading Steve Jobs' autobiography and also listening to the Common Sense Skeptic channel. They're going over a trial that Elon Musk is involved in, and it's kind of revealing. I find a lot of similarities between Steve Jobs and Elon Musk in that there's, in many instances, when he's being um, deposed by the lawyer, examined by the lawyer, he is just going off on his own tangent. He is insisting on things that are blatantly not true. And you can see that he's the type of person who, I think I read a bit about Donald Trump. I may have read one of his books. It was a long time ago. But I remember how in his books, basically he was continually being saved by the next project. So like the last project it would probably be not going that well and it'd probably be about to fail, and then the next project would come online. That project would have all this fanfare and da 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 da, and it would be about to fail, and then you'd have the next project. And with respect to Elon Musk, um, you know, he with respect the company that he had that eventually became PayPal, uh, actually it was failing. It was doing really poorly. And then it merged with another company. I think it was called like Xfinity, maybe. And Peter Thiel was the head of that company. Um, and Elon Musk has said many times that Tesla was on the verge of failure. SpaceX was on the verge of failure. Solar City was on the verge of failure. And that's exactly like what I remember reading with respect to Donald Trump. Fanfare, a lot of excitement and attention and self-promotion, and eventually, you know, the next thing would come up, and it wasn't necessarily about doing something very well. It was just about this continuous stream of project after project after project, attention after attention after attention, and the way that the common sense skeptic goes over how Elon Musk would come into companies, however he did, and make it seem like he was the only one. And that's something that Trump does. Trump is, I'm the only one that can save you from this. Not that there's anything backing it up in terms of intelligence or whatever else, but if you say something enough times and you have enough confidence, I guess people just believe. They believe that you can deliver. And they don't ask questions. Most people, they don't ask too many questions if I'm going to be based on, you know, my relatives. People just have confidence. And even on myself, with respect to my father was one of these people who would just say things that he couldn't deliver on. And I would just keep believing, even though there was not fulfillment. And Steve Jobs, the best thing that he ever did was uh, have Steve Wozniak on his team and his company. Steve Wozniak produced. He produced something stellar because of his ability. But then Steve Jobs wanted to have his own thing. I think there was the Lisa, um, and he wanted that to be his thing. Look, I'm creative too. I have ability too. I can create something amazing too. He almost drove Apple into the ground. If they had not gotten him out of the company, he would have driven it into the ground. And even I don't know. I don't think Steve Wozniak was involved with the company. I really should go back and listen to that stuff. Is it stuck on my iPhone that I can't retrieve stuff from? Hmm. But he failed over and over and over, just blatantly failed. Steve Jobs did. He started Next. That was failing. That needed a Solar City type bailout. He went over to Pixar. Pixar was not doing very good. I guess luckily for him, he found somebody else who could help him to, uh, well, I guess he IPO'd. He IPO'd Pixar, and then he did some Musk things in terms of Next. And, when you really get down into it, he had, and I was posting this as a comment on the Common Sense Skeptics uh, review of the court cases. Um, there are so many similarities in terms of wanton disregard for other people's feelings, for the exact propriety of, yeah. I mean, the way that Steve Jobs treated his daughter is probably very similar to the way that Elon Musk treated his wife, his first wife. He did not want to bend or yield. The way that he treats his employees. Steve Jobs treats his employees very poorly, or treated them, some of them were fantastic and others were idiots. And Elon Musk is the kind of person who, there was an exodus here, there was an exodus there. There's just lots of people leave companies that he is in charge of all the time. And even in interviews, he is not, all three of them are, they're not who they say they are. Number one, they're not these visionaries. Um, Number two, as a matter of fact, they have like they're serial failures at their endeavors. What they're really good at is undue self-confidence. That's it. There's a shell of undue self-confidence and their belief in their ability to understand and speak and yada yada yada. But, and this is one thing that came to me. Part of the reason why I guess Steve Jobs still has a sheen of respectability is because his failures were blatant. So that when he came back to Apple, he had to make sure that he was going to dot all his I's and cross all his T's, because if he failed again, I mean, how that would be really bad. So he had to shut up and put out. Shut up or put up. Well, he had to put up. He had to actually buckle down and create a product that was based on the finances of the company. It was not a shoot. That's what he did with a lot of his projects. He just, no expense, no expense. It has to be like this, has to be like that. And that's the same kind of thing that Musk did. I hear with respect to the first Tesla that, no, it has to be carbon fiber, and, forgetting about the price. And even now, the problem is that Musk has not had this spectacular failure in front of everybody that it would be this new voice in the back of his head. Don't let them see you fall again, kind of thing that Steve Jobs might have had, and even Trump. When you get all the way up to the presidency, the people at The Apprentice the producers, they said, when they first were in discussions with Donald Trump, it was a fading empire. That's what he had. Things were falling apart. And he had a lucky break with The Apprentice. He did have his bankruptcies and he did have, I guess, dark moments or whatever. But I guess that did not. Steve Jobs wasn't fixed. He was not fixed at all. But in allowing and actually trying to get this autobiography done by someone who is capable, who is not going to um, sugarcoat anything, that's how you know that he had some modicum, some small amount of self-awareness. He wanted this guy to do his autobiography. He knew he was dying. He knew the guy probably wouldn't be finished by the time it was done, but he just wanted to get the truth, everything, the truth. I don't think that Elon Musk is capable of that. To say you are the best, I trust you, go do your thing. I can't see that at all. Um, Maybe it's in there, but I really don't see it. And maybe I would not have even seen it with Steve Jobs, except again for the fact that he was dying. Maybe that gave him some self-awareness as well. Um, and Elon and Trump have not had to deal with that yet. Uh, Maybe at that point they might gain some self-awareness and say, hey, but I don't see that happening at all. Honestly, I don't. I think Trump is too far gone. Um, having Not having to go back to an Apple and make sure that you don't mess up again, and you have to, like cross the high wire and balance everything out. I don't think that that's in Trump because he won because he just threw caution to the wind and said what he wanted to say and didn't care. And Elon as well might feel that with the SEC, whether it is all the lawsuits that are pending, that he has been untouchable. I don't know. I look forward to seeing what happens with him and with Trump. Um, and I don't know if society can try to avoid making people like this. I mean, Elon, Trump, and not Steve Jobs. He didn't come from means. I mean, biologically, his father was really wealthy but did not um, want him, I guess. Went back to his country and his mother put him up for adoption and then I think she died early on. Um, but yeah, it would be interesting to see what happens with at least Elon Musk. Yeah, it would be. And I think part of it too is that Steve Jobs' failures were when he was young. Elon did not have as much failure when he was young. I mean, yeah, he was pushed out of the company that became PayPal, but he was pushed out with a bunch of money to go try other things and take over other countries, companies like Tesla. Anyway, remains to be seen. So if you listened, thanks. I really appreciate it. Um, for the people who leave comments from time to time, thank you very much. I appreciate your feedback. And some of you I disagree with, of course, on different issues. Some of you guys I agree with, but like, with respect to speeding up my voice, there's nothing I can do about that right now. I won't put as much effort into this channel as I could because I don't want to be disappointed, number one. Number two, I don't actually want to become successful at this exactly because I have other goals and I think that would take away from it. And also, even with respect to the speed of my voice, I think it's kind of interesting to hear the people speaking at the speed of their masticated thoughts, the thoughts that I right now I'm chewing on them, thinking on them, considering them. There's pauses. I took an acting class, and people actually thought I was acting when I didn't even have a script because I kind of took my time to say certain things and to make actions and so on. Um, but yeah, I find that pauses can be interesting. So yeah, but thanks for listening. Have a good one. Peace.